Good afternoon, everyone. Today my topic is the effect of green advertising to corporate brand image and take product attribute as a moderate. And my content is divided into three parts: the green advertising, the corporate brand image, and product attribute. And the first one, I will talk about what does green mean. And in 1994, I am manager that used the term green simply to indicate concern with the physical environment, such as the air, water, and the land. And only in 1990, the word green has become a synonym for dealing with environmental-related issues. For example, the resource consumption and the environmental pollution expansion. And the green advertising in 1995. Green advertising is defined as any ad that meets one or more of the following criteria. The first, explicitly or implicitly addresses the relationship between the product or service and the biophysical environment. And second, promotes a green lifestyle with or without highlighting a product or service. And third one, present a corporate image of environmental responsibility. And in 1995 campaign, the activities of green advertising are 5M. The first one, mission, to remind consumers their green record of company, ad, product, or to inform consumers about their latest green products, or to explain the scope of current green products. The second, money, to avoid overspending on green advertising. And message, to connect different types, different ways of environmental information and product concept, and to create a message of target consumers' demand response. And media, the selected media can convey the right message and influence the target consumer. And the final one, measurement, to comment on the effectiveness of advertising activities and adjust to the place which needs to be adjusted. And the corporate brand image, the definition of brand image. And before we talk about the corporate brand image, we'll talk about brand image first. And in 1990, brand is a name, symbol, design, or logo, and it can be increased the functional benefits for products or other value. And in 1992 found that there are three major sources of the brand image. And the first one is the attribute of the consumer's links to the brand name. And the second one is the image of the users. And the third one is the image of the product or service itself. And in 1995 found that in brand image, there is an important part comes from the brand's own feature or personalities. So brand can be described as personality or characteristics. And Kelly, 1993. Brand image is the consumer perception of a specific brand, and the perception will be reflected in the memory of consumer-owned brand association. And the brand association includes attribute, benefits, and attitude. And 1991, Barry and Cutler mentioned that the definition of corporate brand image. Corporate brand image is described as the overall impression made on the mind of the public about a firm or an organization. In 1999, Detroit corporate brand image can be seen as intangible asset of a company. And Gary and Bauman, 2003, comparing with product brand, corporate brand can give customer more brand values. These values come from the corporate itself or the other product or service of the corporate. And in 1990, Goldsmith, Lapin, and Netwell, corporate brand represents an overall value of a company, and the overall value is based on the accumulated experiences to a company of a stakeholder. And in 2002, 1989, that corporate brand image is often seen as a symbol of emotional value. And the Sylvia, 2007, corporate image, brand image is more like an emotional or affective construct. And this construct includes feelings and reactions, and the reaction and feelings derive from the experience of consumers to a company itself, or product or service. And the measurement of corporate brand image in 2000. That David Silva and Robert pointed out that projection can be used when measure corporate brand image. To see a company as a person, use personalities to measure corporate brand image or reputation. And the Acker 1997, that people usually use personality to describe a brand. And the final product attribute, the definition of the product. Cutler in 1997, product is defined as something in the market that can be noted, purchased, used, and consumed to satisfy the desire or needs. And he also pointed out 3 levels of product. The basic level is the core product. And the concept of the core product is what is really required when customer purchase the product. And the second level is the actual product. And it has 5 features: the brand name, styling, feature, design, and quality. And the final level is augmented product. With the actual product, it provides the additional benefits or service, such as after-sale service, guarantee, installation, and credit. And the definition of the product attribute. Cutler in 1996, product attribute is the combination of all the product extrinsic and intrinsic features, and it can be perceived by consumers. And Liao in 2003, the classification of product attribute. Product attribute on customer acceptance or of products has these considerable effects, and over the years, many scholars cut into from various angles and bring many different classifications of product attribute. And this is the first one, the type of product attribute of satisfying the customer needs types as a classification standard. And the first one is the utilitarian attribute. And it is functional, and it can help consumers to solve the problem through providing the functional attribute. For example, an MP3 player, it provides the function of the storing and broadcasting. And the second one, hedonic attribute. This attribute focuses on providing the happy feelings, fantasy, and the sensory pleasure to customer. For example, and because of the popular design and aesthetic appearance of the MP3, that consumer can satisfy their sensory needs. And the third one, symbolic attribute. And by purchasing this kind of product, consumer can enhance their self-image. For example, buying a multifunctional MP3 or a good texture MP3, and consumer can show their self-taste or status. And the second type is the type of product attribute of satisfying the customer's needs levels as a sub-classification standard. The first one is basic function attribute. And this attribute is to solve the physiology needs of customers. For example, clothes can keep us warm and the food can fill our stomachs. And the second one is the convenience function attribute. And it is an additional function from the basic function attribute. And the product with this attribute can solve 2 or more living needs at the same time. For example, you buy a PSP. Yeah, you can play games and watch movies in one machine. And the final one is the psychological satisfaction attribute. And the product with this attribute can show the status of consumers, or consumers' psychological level can be satisfied. For example, you purchase the luxury brands or famous brand product and can represent your status.